more like it. I know some folks just got off work, but we do have some adult libation. We got some drinks. Thank you to True Colors. Give them a round of applause. They're here. And we also have something. Yes, we have some food from Food Wings. Y'all make some noise for Food Wings. And we have some ice cream downstairs. So if you want to go downstairs and get some ice cream for the next 15 minutes, we can mix and mingle, get you something to drink, get some ice cream, get something to eat, okay? Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. You know I'm not a talker, so I won't spend a whole lot of time. But the whole purpose of Demo Day, which is short for Demonstration Day, is we put our entrepreneurs through this process. And in which begin, the entire process is about developing a sustainable business model that you can now scale. You're not talking to banks and other large financiers. So what we do and what the Demo Day is for them to get an opportunity to now explain to you, the entire community, what their business model is, how they create value, judges, how they deliver value, and most importantly, how they capture value. So defining what their product or service is, how they get it to customers, and how they make money from it. That's really what the judges are going to be judging on. That's the whole purpose of Demo Day. One of the most important things that every founder here knows, you probably heard me say this 6 million times, is that your CEO of articulating your message clear enough to hand it over to a team to execute. So that's the whole purpose of this Which Begin, and if it isn't proper, it's Tracy, Roxanne, and Ariane's fault. I had nothing to do with it. Clearly.
Spoken like a true man.
Okay, still women's, so we'll give you that. So what you're going to hear, what the judges are going to be doing, is they're going to be judging these companies, these founders, on their business model and how clear they articulate it to you. So by the time you leave here today, you should know what each one of these founders' companies do, how they make money, and why you should invest in them. So thank everyone for joining us here for Demo Day. I think I'm going to pass it back to Big B. And then you may pass it to my lovely wife. I just want to be
Founder and Chief Investment Officer of Abide. Today I'm going to take you through what Abide means, what it actually stands for, and why it's so important, and why I am definitely different from the competition. Now, in case you haven't already figured out, you picked up on the words diversity and inclusion in there. And when you say those words, they can be kind of polarizing, can they not? You can go ahead and shake your little pumpkin heads, I know they can. So what I do in my business is we actually get you off of the isms, we get you out of diversity, we get you out of inclusion because you're not ready for that. Most of us aren't ready for that, and we've probably been a little bit inundated with it. So let's take a look and see exactly where we go. Now, this is our company's purpose statement. It is to cultivate an environment for your success. That's premise number one. I'm not into it for myself, I'm not into it for the next person, I'm into it for you. When I work for you, I work with you, I get to know your staff, I get to know your folks, I get to know exactly what your needs are. That means I'm going to need some data, that means I'm going to need to do some interviews, it also means I'm going to need to identify where your gaps actually are. So when you actually think about this, most companies don't call me when their offices look like this. They call me when their offices look like this. And by then, now you're doing a little bit of recovery work. And what brings us to that recovery work? All those words you see there at the bottom, insults, microaggressions, any of these types of things that actually divide people. So we have to move a little bit faster when we think about this kind of work. So it's going to be super important that we also understand, as far as Abide is concerned, that this particular statement right here, everybody wants equality. Isn't that what we've been talking about for years and years and years and years? But how do you get there? It always starts with awareness, and you have to understand that that's exactly what the A stands for. This is awkward ability for you to know yourself. If you don't know yourself, you definitely are not going to be capable of knowing other people or accepting other people for who they are and what they do. The next thing you have to be able to do is to belong. And that's what all of us want, right? After you know yourself, you can then open yourself up and open yourself up to other people, which brings on the inclusion part. In fact, inclusion is very difficult to separate because it's so intentional. You actually have to seek people out, right? And then you're ready for diversity. And you can never separate inclusion and diversity. You actually get them both at the exact same time. And once you're through all of that, then yeah, you're ready for equity, which is really looking at those disparities and reducing that gap between them all. So let's talk about this just a little bit, because the services that I actually bring are going to involve these things here. And what most companies typically go after when they're doing business with me is that implicit bias in you. It's a 2-hour course that we actually bring to you, and it kind of sets the groundwork and it gives your folks a springboard from which to launch from. It gets them to know the awareness about themselves. All the other services that I actually offer involve a whole lot more, getting to know your company, getting to know your staff, identifying those disparities, and attacking those gaps. So what's in it for me and what's in it for you? The thing that you need to understand is that my premise is always going to be the science, and it starts right here with System 1 and System 2 thinking. I'm not talking about racism. I'm not talking about ageism. I'm not talking about ableism. I'm talking about how your brain actually functions, and we're going to get to know you a whole lot better. And then at the end of the day, here's where most companies usually want me to attack, and it's these 10 things here. How do we hire? How do we recruit? How do we retain? What are my people doing? How can I do it better? How can I be a better leader? And often you will find with this work, it is a top-down approach. It is not a bottom-up approach. It really only frustrates the people that are at the bottom. And then last but not least is I give you this test. Are these two lines the same distance? Are the two vertical lines, are they the same? Yes or no? Definitely not. And at the end of the day, thank you. I'm Abide.
Insurance will also be able to help with retirements when it comes to 401ks, Roth IRAs, life insurance, Medicare, long-term care, and different types of disability services. My strategic plan, when it comes to our financing, we are able to help with financing with life insurance as one of our main focuses, with as little as $1 a day when it comes into making sure that you can have life insurance for your families. We're able to provide families with insurance as little as $2,000 and coverage all the way up to millions. My partners that I partner with is North American Senior Benefits and Integrity Marketing Company, and those are my independent marketing consultants that I work with and partner with that allow us to do what we do when it comes to serving our communities and serving our families when it comes to their insurance needs. This is my our projected growth. This year alone, my goal is to make $120,000 in commissions. With right now, I'm at $40,500. It just increasing and starting the team. Our team is at $6,900. Right now, total property is $47,400 year to date. Our goal by the end of the year is to make that $120,000. We have $82,000 in personal production from myself, $24,000 within my team, processing at $104,000 by the end of the year. Our next year goal is to have $82,000 in personal production, $85,000 in team productions, giving me a net total of $187,000 in production. And how can you guys help me make this better? Y'all can do that by voting for me to win this panel, because my goal is not only to be an independent broker. My job and my goal is to have more team members and be team-based. And for me to win this competition, I need additional strategies and additional help to grow and educate and teach a team. Personal production is great, but it's always better when you can reach the masses. So please share, please share, please share. I am actually within my company, we have an Indeed campaign going on right now, and our Indeed campaign is reaching about 50 people per month for hiring at this time, which I need to increase that. So that will be one, being able to get additional help so that I can continue to do interviews and do all that I'm doing. And right now I'm also doing that with keeping up my personal production, and I have started building a team.
Many insurance agencies out there. How do you separate yourself from that? And what do you do for marketing when every evening I'm looking at State Farm commercials and just inundated with big box insurance companies? What's making yours different, and how do you plan to attack the market?
That is an excellent question. with my partners, we have the only private-owned insurance mail drop system here in the U.S. So we actually are able to pick and choose the locations that we're wanting to go without having to ask for word of mouth. So I don't have to go to just friends and families and knock the door. I can actually, because we have our own mailing facility, I'm able to pick a location that I would like to go and work anywhere in the U.S. and I can go and work in that location because of the mail drop system that we have that's exclusive to us.
What about the sensitivity, price sensitivity? The question of somebody gets your price by a few dollars, how do you overcome that?
Well, another good question. So with us being brokers, we don't work with one company, we work with all companies. And when we work with all companies, that allows us to only work with the best companies. So every company that we work with are A-rated companies, and that are the best companies right now, year to date. When you look at some of the companies that we are in, my top 5 are in the top 10 in the country right now.
So I saw that one of your areas of focus were for senior care.
Yes.
Long-term care. How do you reach the families? Since most of those people are not connected on a computer, how do you reach them? And what's your channel for reaching those people?
That's where our private mail drop facility comes from. We actually have mail drops that's dropping off to anyone from the ages of 40 to age 85, and then they reply back saying that they want additional services, and then that's where we go in and we actually see them and we actually be able to reach that target audience that way.
All right. So another question I had was, how do you target? I noticed that you said you had insurance for as little as this, coverage for up to this, but in historically disenfranchised areas and communities, how do you plan on targeting these folks that really need the insurance, that don't have the insurance? I remember sitting in the barbershop 20 years ago and people walking in, selling policies right there, asking them, does everybody have insurance, this kind of thing. And I noticed that you lean heavily on the marketing, the mail drop side of it, but what about boots to the ground and reaching those folks that can definitely use that dollar a day type of coverage?
Right, so we do door-to-door sales and telesales. So not only are we based where we can actually do telesales over the telephone, we actually go out into communities and we actually sit with our seniors. That's on the side when we go into doing the final expense, making sure the final expenses are there and tackling that first when we get in those communities that doesn't have that education and that knowledge. We actually provide that at that time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Alicia Randolph. Next up, we have Michelle Buffet, founder of Elaborate Outings, LLC. Michelle's Picnics provides you with the experience of admirable eating outdoor and leaves an impression of fine dining without walls. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Michelle Buffet.
Since the pandemic began, there's been a new focus on quality of living in the outdoors. I'm Michelle Buffet, and I'm the owner of Elaborate Outings, Luxury Picnics, and I provide extravagant outdoor experiences. I cover the gamut from single to large group events for people who have the vision, but they need my expertise in the planning and creative process. So my customers are allowed to just focus on their guests while I execute the best. I take care of everything. I do the picnic layout, I set up the picnics, and I clean up. Because it's important for all of my customers to feel like royalty while being exposed to fine dining without walls. So I started this company with the goal to cater to were in love, and in return, I got love sewn back into my company by way of dates, date nights, birthdays, anniversaries, bridal showers, church events. So I also arrange collaborations. So if anybody wants to enhance their picnics, I collaborate with companies for food and for me for pictures. And with the risk of inclement weather, I also make arrangements at the Self-Love Museum. So through social media is how I let everybody know what I'm doing on Instagram and Facebook. And then on Facebook, I share everything on like 10 different pages, making sure that I include my website on each post. So I've also been featured in Star News, Wilma, Cape Fear Living, and I am this year's Coastal Entrepreneur Award recipient for the minority owned business. My goal is to just go full-time. Right now I'm doing it part-time. So in order for me to go full-time, I need you guys to book picnics. So right now I'm a full-time teacher. So if I can do just 4 picnics a week, that I can reach my goal of being part-time, and then I can scale into going into full-time. So think about what you need, what's up, what's happening, your birthday, your anniversaries, if you want to take your business meeting outside, and just hit me up, go to www.elaborateoutlets.com.
Build-A-Board. So the Build-A-Board is not, the Build-A-Board and the Barcooterie are not in place as of yet. So the Build-A-Board, what that will look like is, what I'm gearing towards is Christmas in July, where it's an actual like gift basket with a charcuterie board, the meats. Think of about like a Harry David basket where you can gift it, and I'll have a template of how I would have created that board. So you can just buy the board itself, like that basket, and gift it to family members, friends, or whomever. But the QR codes, you're able to sign it and get right to me. A lot of the way people book me is through direct messages or just contacting me. The way my business was born was through Facebook, so everything that I do is all through social media. So it's fairly easy to get in touch with me.
Staying here, but Chris is the director of the award-winning Wilmington on Fire documentary. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chris Everett.
Thank you. Hey everyone, my name is Chris Everett. I'm the founder of Speller Street Films. And we at Speller Street, we produce original documentary films that reach and engage diverse audiences. And the reason why I started Speller Street a few years ago was I felt there was a need to tell unique stories from the Black American perspective. And also I believe that film equals jobs and creates jobs. So these 3 fellas, they actually got their start with us on Wilmington on Fire. And you can see some of the projects they worked on. You guys probably watch some of the stuff they do today. Matt does all the music for Pete Valley. Dante, he's the DP for the new Mike Tyson series on Hulu. My man Chris, he does a lot of motion graphic titles for Jack Ryan TV show. Also, some of our supporters. You know, we've been able to build from the grassroots and also reach some Hollywood folks as well. This is me and Hillary Burton Morgan from One Tree Hill. She's a new supporter. David West, former NBA champion. Peyton Reed, everybody's seen the Ant-Man movies from Marvel. He's the director of that. And also Eric Alexander from the hit TV show back in the day, Living Single. They have been supporting this movement that we've been creating. Also, some of our successes, we were actually one of the only films mentioned during the 2019 congressional hearing on reparations. Dr. Malveaux gave us a shout out. Got a lot of sales from that as soon as it hit. Also, This being on the set of The Dead Files for the Travel Channel, where I was a guest expert talking about the 1898 massacre. You can actually watch that now on the Travel Channel. Here's our business model. What we try to do is really minimize risk by keeping our budgets under 100 grand. The documentary Wilmington on Fire, everybody's probably seen it. It's a documentary on the 1898 Wilmington Massacre, really considered one of the probably most important films ever made in Wilmington. And how we made over $100,000 and growing with this on an $18,000 budget. We did screening, speaking engagements, streaming, home video, broadcast, and educational licensing. So we started really with marketing. Like I said, it was a grassroots effort that we kind of built up. We had celebrities such as Hillary, David West, also people like Professor Griff of Public Enemy to really influence and galvanize their audience. Here's some of the media outlets we've been featured in: IndieWire, New Yorker, BBC News, etc. Here's some of the screening numbers. We made about 21,000 doing screenings, 22,000 speaking engagements, sold out crowds everywhere. That was when we did at Keenan Auditorium. Streaming numbers, 27,000 and growing. I actually got a check coming in today. Video, 22,000, broadcasting. Here's some of the platforms. We're actually going to be on Tubi next month. So that's coming for Wilmington on Fire. Also, we make a lot of our money doing educational licensing. So colleges and universities, for their libraries, they buy documentary films. And so we have like about 20 colleges now that we license the film to. We're looking to try to grow that over the next couple of years as well. Some of our goals. Here's a screenshot of Wilmington on Fire 2 and also Grandmaster. We're actually done filming both of these projects. So the success of the first Wilmington on Fire led us to do a part 2. And so it also led us to do another documentary about Grandmaster Vic Moore, who was a martial arts pioneer from back in the 1960s. So those are our goals, to get these 2 films made and out to the marketplace. The next steps, we're trying to raise $250,000 to take our company to the next level. And with the $250,000, we want to finish post-production on Wilmington on Fire 2 and Grandmaster. Also hire a part-time development coordinator, and also to hire a publicist. So again, this is Speller Street Films. My name is Christopher Everett, founder of Speller Street.
Tell you this has been one of the most precious experiences I've had. I've been teaching for close to 20 years, entrepreneurship exclusively. I know what it feels like to be in their shoes. And I bring the financial literacy side to the table, and I thank Tracy and Gerard for entrusting me to guide all of you amazing, amazing, amazing small businesses through this journey. So on that note, there we go, how we want to do this. All right. All right. Are we ready? Drum roll. All right. Third place, Rebecca Charcuterie. All right. Second place. Ready? Joan Sunset Sauce. All right, and the winner is Speller Street Films.